the final season in Poland, it was going to be tough to escape from the authorities. I had a year left on my contract and needed to give the Champions League one last shot in our capital city challenge. Avoiding arrest was easy actually, whether sleeping at different locations of the training ground, players' homes, or deserted shacks across Warszawa. Europe would be problematic, so for the away destinations in the league phase, I managed via Zoom. How did I not get caught for the home fixtures? I found a clever disguise. Nobody knew it was me. Big help to Giovanni, who I initially despised, but he's pulled a 180, like listening to me to not sell Kremer, in spite of us potentially failing financial fair play. I didn't spend a lot on transfers, with the most expensive being Mateus Carneiro Costa for less than 22 million via Flamengo. Was he necessary? No. However, with a pissed off Elise, I'd rather play somebody who was happy. With Bugai gone, backing up Vik was Adam Bakone, who is part Polish. It didn't matter who I played in this role, because it could be Adam Bakune, Adam Sandler, or Adam and Eve. They'd still dominate the Ekstraklasa.
Alright, let's go.
That was without Jakub Kivior, who desperately wanted to go to Saudi Arabia. I can't blame him. Which was fine since Ibrahima Konate came on a free. Okay, he's past it. Unlike Mickey van de Ven, all known from Tottenham, we're paying his exorbitant wage plus fees that add up to 20 million. I was desperate. With several other sales occurring, our last piece of business was the loan of Sebastião Passarinho from Newcastle. A solid option off the bench. The final squad ever did well to make sure our Champions League path was smooth. 5 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses placed us in 7th, leading to a round of 16 spot. Augustin has been doing great playing as a striker rather than an attacking midfielder. In a deep-lying forward role on attack, he was on pace to break Poland's goal-scoring record and was competing with the best in Europe. The blips were a tough away match at Atalanta, getting unlucky with a late Trent deflection, and experimenting gone wrong versus Bayern. Before finding out who our knockout opponent would be, we'd regrettably lose in the Ekstraklasa. At Widzew Łódź, Adam would set us back with a 3rd-minute red card. We remained dominant and had a lead at the break. Then Widzew would equalize from an interesting corner routine. That was okay, as we won a penalty, only for the cube strike to be grabbed. Less than 10 minutes after that, a former player named Lisowski scored the winner. He never played a match for me. It's good to get that out of the way, as by the end of February, we had the Champions League draw. You could argue that the potential opponents were more difficult compared to the top 8. Maybe you're right, but the unseeded section didn't have Barcelona, so I'll take any of you, even Arsenal. The first ever meeting between us, I was familiar with them, especially their French attacker, Emil Gołąb, who's part Polish with that name and was born in Argentina. I've followed him since his River Plate days, hoping to have him on my team. Despite sending loan offers for many years, every attempt was rejected by the Pigeon. I wish Key was at the end. With it being the knockouts, I needed to risk attending the matches. So with a disguise, altered passport, and shady Giovanni connections, we got into London without a problem. Our lineup is close to normal. Shad would be our libero, partnering with fast Dutch guy and Adrian Rodriguez. The fullbacks are the usual, although at midfield, I dropped Fredriksson. Kremer was there instead because I wanted some height. Offensively, Augustin partnered with Napoles, with the new Brazilian behind them. Arsenal began with a lot of heat, with several chances in the opening 20. Oh no! 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 Oh my gosh, what are we doing? Who was Van de Ven looking at? Trying to lower our tempo didn't change much, as Warden smacked the bar, and would do so again in the 22nd, where the rebound landed at Gołąb. This may get ugly. Thankfully, Arsenal cooled off from there. Returning from the halftime break, we began passing it into space. Improvement was shown immediately, seeing action in the final third. That didn't result in a goal. However, in the 65th minute, we made a couple subs and decided to push more. The right decisions were made, with us grabbing the equalizer not long later, meaning we returned to Poland with a solid draw. I wouldn't say confidence was high for the second leg, although I wasn't scared. The cube getting injured in between wasn't ideal, but it did improve the defensive solidity of our midfield. Arsenal would shake up their lineup, starting a man who's nicknamed Tuberculosis. I will not comment further. We kicked off in potentially my last European game in Poland. The boys would make sure that wouldn't be the case, as Vik's cross found Augustin! It smells like victory. An opening minute strike must have been stunning to Arteta's men. How would they react to Vic's near post cross to the one? I imagine not well, as our advantage extended. The Gunners or Gooners were rattled as they'd be less clinical and eventually quiet down as we advanced to the quarters. Our next opponent,
Internazionale. Faced them in the semi-final.
still managed by Luis Enrique, who we have a good history with. He loved Liverpool players, since that was his midfield. The English love carried into the wings, with Matthew Stollery. Others to watch out for include the best FIFA Men's Player of the Year, Simone Pafundi. He's a guy who would have fit with Italy's 2006 World Cup squad. Then there is Ballon d'Or winner Vitor Roque. He overcame his Barcelona struggles and is now a man you don't want to mess with. The pair would play together in Luis's 4-2-2. Could we handle the heat? Like Arsenal, Inter brought it to us, with 2 chances that should have been goals within the opening minutes. In spite of the barrage, it remained scoreless. We earned a free kick, and Van de Ven was wide open at the back post. Wide open, and he makes it 1-0. What are Inter doing there? Smoke was coming out of Luis Enrique's ears as we handled the rest of the game, keeping a clean sheet at the San Siro. We needed some luck and great goalkeeping by Ristic, yet this was going to be hard to lose at home. In between the legs, Inter tried to rattle us with a news report surrounding the cube being Inter's chief target. For as little as 4.1 million? What does chief target even mean? That was easily ignored, with us claiming our 8th Ekstraklasa title against our rivals, Legia, who was managed by Łukasz Piszczek. With that out of the way, we were focused on the second leg. Defensively, the team continued from the previous match, applying pressure and keeping Inter out. It was nervy with a slim lead, but continuing our fight led to a counter in the 70th. Alright, is anything gonna happen? I mean, we have a lot of space. Get it to the one. Nice. The one. Boom! Augustine! It smells like victory. 2-0 on aggregate. We grab another from Vic's incredible cross to find ourselves back into the Champions League semi-finals. The first time in 3 years. That was despite a scare to our netminder without any subs remaining. An incredible achievement by our club. I'd love it if we could take it a step further. Our opponents would be... No! Why is it always Barcelona? I would have taken anybody else. They're literally the only side I don't think I can beat. And that's because we can never score more than a goal against them. That's ignoring our first encounter, which was a 3-3 anomaly. Worst of all, this might be their best 11 as they finally overcome their La Liga juju. Plus, they decided not to handicap themselves and have Juliano Mateus return. Adding to this mountainous challenge, we had the Puar Polski semis a week prior. It was against Ruch, who we could easily beat. I used my strongest team and was winning. Yet, in the second half, Philip Seeger did something I haven't seen in ages. An opponent scoring a free kick? That's okay. Vic would grab back the lead. Only for the ref to give this as a penalty? VAR didn't intervene as Ruch equalized the match. Then Philip Seeger would pop up again and did this! Bobek, who was in for the injured Ristic, had fallen off since his amazing Champions League campaign. Whether he was at fault or not, the blame would be sent to me by the guys who were on the pitch. They were pissed about losing, and I told them to look in a mirror. We were all involved. I know we've not won this trophy in ages, but we can overcome it eventually. Let's just worry about Barcelona. That didn't work, or at least the option wasn't there, as I had a disgruntled group of guys against Barca. The sole ray of hope was Lamine Yamal's injury. With double digits in goals and assists, there were doubts about his availability. He started. Of course he did. The man had 5 days until he returned from rehab, and Barcelona still played him. At least give him a small break. He's human after all. For ourselves, Schad was suspended, and Fredriksson was injured for a while. Realistically, we needed a win. Sadly, the opportunities were coming from them. Why are they so good? That question was in my mind. Until they made a mistake. Come on, Vic. Yes, let's go, Vic. Cube. Costa. Boom! 1-0 for Polonia Warszawa. Alright, maybe we can do this, as Augustine soon got a chance himself. Despite our ray of hope, you can never count out one particular Spaniard. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Lamine Yamal, of course. Injured ankle, terrible fitness, it didn't matter, because he is him. At least it wasn't a loss. We just need to keep the score level at the Camp Nou. Conceding in the 5th minute wasn't part of my plan. I wanted to begin cautiously. 3 years ago at the same location, I had worse defenders and conceded 4. Surely with the lads I have now, the game will be kept close. However, whether we could do that or not doesn't matter if we can't score. We desperately pushed for an equalizer, but if the starters aren't doing anything, we have so many options off the bench that can make a difference. Right? Even if my thoughts were true or not, nobody would be as impactful as Lamine Yamal, who found an unmarked Pedri. Glad that tight marking worked. Thanks guys. Lamine again would find another assist to widen this gap by 3. You were literally in front of him! How are you not blocking the pass? Throwing everyone forward did jack shit, as we missed out on a Champions League final thanks to fucking Lamine Yamal and Materazzo's untouchable back 5 once more. Anybody except for them, and I'm confident we'd be a step away from glory. Knowing my luck though, we would have faced Barcelona and lost. This is the actual end. The positive was that Augustin would reach 50 in all competitions, equalizing the Polish record for most goals scored in a season. Chasing a European trophy led to nightmares waking me up in the middle of the night, day by day. We couldn't overcome them, and that would haunt me for the rest of my life. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. I watched Barcelona lift a 3rd Champions League title in 5 years. They defeated Benfica to do it, and of course, Lamine Yamal was important. Was staying an extra year illegally in Poland worth it, despite being part Polish? Probably not. The end of series save file is now available to my Continue the Journey patrons and the Crewverse YouTube members. If you want your name or username in the credits of the video, join the lowest paid tier on either, and it'll be there. Patreon is cheaper, so it's a better deal for you. Thank you for watching this series, and I hope I can release one last big video before FM25.